And place both hands on top of your solar plexus. So stack your hands, it doesn't matter which hand is first. Stack your hands on top of the solar plexus. So that's the area right there where the ribs kind of come together, the top of your abdomen. So just letting your hands gently rest there, find a way that you can let them be there without too much work. So if it's causing your shoulders to strain, then just find a way to be comfortable and easy. So working with the third chakra right here at the solar plexus. This chakra is bright yellow in color, vibrant. This chakra symbolizes our own personal will. This chakra symbolizes our own ego, or how we come to the outside world, how we show up as ourselves. And that's not in a negative way. Oftentimes we hear the word ego and it has a negative connotation. This is not negative at all. This is who we bring to the world. It's really important and valuable and should not be something that is experienced as negative. So from this awareness of this third chakra here at the solar plexus, we're going to begin to set an intention, because this is where we set intention. This is where we say, this is what I want for myself. This is what I want to cultivate. My personal will lives here. This is where I can tap into my ability to stay with something and see it through to fruition. So in other words, this is where we plant the seeds of intention. So at the beginning of a yoga practice, often you're invited to set an intention, and sometimes maybe you just breeze past that, or you think, just get through the class, that's my intention, and maybe that is your intention, that's great. But this is an opportunity here to tap in, what are the intentions we're setting? What are the seeds we're planting? We just recently had the spring equinox. March 19th was the spring equinox, and that brings a time of equal darkness and light, and it's the perfect opportunity to set intention. And it is from this place of willpower and sense of self that we really can plant those seeds, keep returning to our willpower to see us through, and wait for whatever we planted to sprout. So with that idea, just give yourself a moment to search around and find an intention. It could be eating healthier. It could be getting cardiovascular exercise every day. It could be doing a yoga practice every day or every other day, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Just own it, make it yours, plant your seed. And then set your intention to return to this center, to find the willpower to stay patiently as the seed takes root and sprouts. So that's the important part. We often plant seeds with children because as humans, and certainly as children, we want immediate results from something. And so we plant seeds with children to teach them patience, right? And faith. We have to have faith. We plant seeds that they're actually going to turn into something. And it's hard to have that faith, right? When we can't see anything coming up through the soil. We might not be able to feel anything happening. We got to return to the center, find our willpower, find our ability to stay with it, have faith, and then watch what grows. With that, draw your knees into your chest and hug them in. Bring your hands to your shins and just hug them in tight. Draw your chin toward your throat and feel the length of your spine. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the mat so that you're squeezing yourself into this tiny little ball, and really bring some intention to finding energy building in this shape. Now, if you'd like to hold onto your knees and stay holding onto your knees or shins, stay with that. Otherwise, squeeze everything into the center line. Squeeze the inner calves together, squeeze the balls of the toes together, squeeze the thighs toward the belly, draw the belly to the spine, and release the hands alongside your legs. So you're reaching past your toes. Point your toes like a ballerina. Feel all the energy pulling into this tiny little ball. Imagine yourself as a seed. So all this energy is trapped inside the seed, ready to sprout, ready to grow, ready to become something more, something bigger, something more vital. So from this shape of a seed, whether you're holding on to your shins or reaching through the fingertips, begin to lengthen out. So send your right leg forward, send your left leg forward, release the grasp if you were holding it, and see if you can maintain this hollow body shape. It's called canoe. And so you're imagining yourself with the toes lifted and the head lifted and the fingertips lifted, the belly button drawing down. It's a hollow body shape. And then slowly come back into your little seed. Either hug the knees or keep reaching through the fingers. We're going to take that 2 more times. If you need to release and take a breath, anytime in there, go for it, or maybe stay. Start to extend first the right leg out and then the left leg out, holding the shape of this low boat, hollow body, and then bring it back in, 1 leg at a time. Hold the shape of the seed. If you need to grab your knees and squeeze them in, go for it. Start to feel, you're probably feeling some burning in that center core area. Extend your right leg out, extend your left leg out, hold it if you can. Squeeze everything into the center line, and then bring it back into the little seed shape. Release your head and shoulders. And breathe, rock side to side. Holding on to the knees, you can let the knees go wide. And then extend the legs straight up. So your toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. Inhale to lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Start to engage the belly again. Feel free to stay right here or start to lower the legs just 1/3 of the way. So they're up a little higher than they were in that low boat position. You're turning on different core muscles here. Belly to spine, squeeze the legs into the center line. And then bring them straight up and release head and shoulders. Rock side to side. Breathe. You need to kind of rock the head side to side. Go for it. A lot of tension can work up in the neck and jaw in those poses, so try and keep them as soft as possible. And this time we're going to take the hands behind the knees, cross the ankles, and roll up to a seat. Plant your hands, make your way back to downward facing dog. So take your time getting there. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Breathe here. Claw down with your fingertips. Draw extra energy into your thumb and index finger. Claw down there. Lift the hips up and back. If you feel you need to, you can always step your feet a little wider and bend the knees, or keep them maybe lengthening toward, heels lengthening toward the mat. Pull the belly in, pull the ribs in, release the head, maybe shake the head around a bit. That's feeling tight, nod the head, move it side to side, just let go of the neck, let go of the jaw. And inhale to a high plank. From the high plank, feel free to always use your knees here. Shift your chest forward a little bit. So rock onto the tiptoes and start to bend the elbows, chaturanga, all the way to your belly. Hands in line with the ribs, squeeze the arms in, squeeze the inner thighs, press into the feet. Peel up, find your cobra. Could be quite low, could be up a little higher. Whatever your spine says is going to work for you today. Bend in the elbows, press into the top of the feet, inhale. And exhale, release. Shift your hips back, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts behind you. Point your toe like a ballerina, your right toe. Come onto the ball of your standing foot. Press firm into both hands, lengthen the leg back, take a breath. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it tight into the belly. Shift forward like plank, so that's shoulders over wrist, and lift your thigh toward your chest. Hold here. Inhale, lengthen it back. Same thing, exhale, bend the knee, pull it tight in, shift forward like plank, and lift that right thigh toward your chest. Really pull it in, you should have a round back. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift the leg up and back. Exhale, come forward, pull it in. Really lift it, press into the hands, round the back. Point your toes still like a ballerina and step your foot forward between your thumbs. It's a surprising amount of work there. Draw your right hip back, lift the belly. Fingertips in line with the ankle bone. Now, if you'd like to keep your hands on the mat, you certainly can. Or inhale to lift the torso and reach the arms back. Sink the hips low, draw your right hip back in space. Take a big breath in. And exhale, arms sweep forward, shoulders in the sockets. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale here. Roll the pinky edges toward each other so you're turning your shoulders in the sockets. And then draw the belly in. Big breath here. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Preparing for those deep core, hollow body actions on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg, point the toe like a ballerina. Come onto the ball of your standing foot. Press evenly into both hands to find more leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it tight into the belly. Shift forward like plank, so you're pressing out of your back foot. Now press firm into the hands to round the upper back and pull that thigh tight into your chest. Point your left toe like a ballerina. Pull the heel toward your seat. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, second time. Bend the knee, pull it tight in, shift forward like plank. Press into hand, pull the thigh in, point the toe. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, last time, bend the knee, pull it in tight. Shoulders over wrists, press into the mat, lift your thigh, point your toe, and then step your foot between the thumbs. Hands on either side of the front ankle. Send some weight through your back heel, sink the hips nice and low. When you're ready, lift the arms, airplane wings. Reaching back, big breath. Exhale, arms forward, shoulders in the sockets. Inhale, reach for the sky, and exhale here. Big breath in, exhale here. One more. And plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Press into your toes to shift your chest a little bit forward. Start to bend the elbows and slowly lower all the way down. So this time, take the cobra of your choice, or we'll come all the way to up dog. So you have that as an option. Hands next to ribs. Squeeze the arms in, squeeze the inner thighs, lift up. Maybe just lifting the chest, maybe lifting the sternum, maybe pressing to straight arms. Pressing into the top of the feet, lift the thighs. Shoulders back. This is your up dog pose. Just an option to take in our vinyasa passes if you want it. Wherever you are, slowly lower just exactly like you went in. Shift back, downward facing dog. We're going to walk or hop to the top of the mat. So if you would rather, you can just start to tiptoe forward up your mat and find yourself in a forward fold. If you're going to hop, step your feet in and then bring your big toes touching. Bend your knees. Look forward at the space between your thumbs. You're going to claw down with your handstand hands and start to bounce a bit. When you're ready, hop and land lightly. In a forward fold at the top of the mat, bend your knees a lot. Take your arms and wrap them around the backs of your legs. Bow your head. Straighten the legs as it feels comfortable for you. You can keep them bent. Fold in. This is a tight little forward fold position with the help of the arms. Knees can stay bent if they need to. Release the jaw, release the neck. Always staying in breath. Yoga is the moving meditation by way of matching movement and breath. Bend the knees, release the arms. Drag the fingertips across the mat Keep the hips low and bring the arms up to chair pose. So the hips stay low. Take little movements to send the hips back more. Your biceps are by your ears. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Draw your belly in firm. And then press to grow tall. Hands at prayer. Take your arms out, shoulder height, shoulder width. Draw your shoulders into the socket and come on up the tiptoes. Lifting heels, one spot of focus. Now bring your hands to prayer. Keep your heels lifted and start to bend your knees. So we're going to try to come into what's called ball of yarn, but today we're going to imagine it's a seed. With heels lifted, start to squeeze into the center line and lower all the way down. So your kind of hips are just above your heels and your heels are lifted. You're on your tiptoes. And now we're going to take the arms and wrap them around the knees. Squeeze in. You can see why this is called ball of yarn, but today we're going to think of it as a seed. So squeezing in just like we were on our backs, squeezing all the energy into the center, to that energy center that allows us to set in tension and stay with it. And then from here, we're going to try and come out of the seed with the heels lifted. So first, let's take the arms out in front of us. Draw the shoulders into the sockets. You may start to get a cramp in the arch of the foot. Try and stay with it if you can. Press into the toes and grow up tall. Keep the heels lifted and release. Beautiful. We'll move through our sun salutations. If you need to shake out your feet, go for it. Inhale from the top of the mat, sweep the arms out wide to the side, palms touch, reach up, look up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a flat back when you arrive, fingertips to shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, right foot shoots back. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to a high plank position. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it through, step between the thumbs. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale to halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale to bow deeply. Soften the knees, inhale, big sweep to the top. Palms touch, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, left foot shoots back. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale to a high plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it up tight to the chest, shift forward and step between the thumbs. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow deeply. Soften the knees, inhale, big sweep to the top. Palms touch, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, right foot shoots back. Inhale, airplane wings. Exhale, arms forward, shoulders back. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale here. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, cross the body, knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale to right elbow. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, pull it in tight and step it through. Inhale here. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow deep. Soften the knees. Inhale, big sweep to the top. Palms touch, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left foot shoots back. Inhale to airplane wings. Exhale, arms forward, shoulders in the sockets. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, settle in. Big breath here. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra, your choice. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee crosses the body, right elbow. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale to the left elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw it in and step it between the thumbs. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Soften the knees. Inhale, big sweep to the top. Palms touch, reach up, look up. Hands to prayer. Bring your arms out, shoulder height, shoulder width. Spread the fingers wide. Come on up to tiptoes. Lift the heels like there is a candle flame underneath them. Stay here. And we'll start to make our way into our little seat. So this is the setting the intention. Lots of focus. Start to slide your back down an imaginary wall. Bending your knees. Sliding all the way down until you come into a little box shape. And then we'll wrap the arms around the knees. Always helpful in any balance to focus on one spot with the eyes. If you're wobbly, that is okay. Keep lifting the heels. And then with the heels lifted, we'll grow again. Bring the arms up, shoulder height, shoulder width. Squeeze into the center line, grow tall. Keep those heels lifted. Nice balance at the top. Release the heels. Take your right thigh and squeeze it in towards your chest. Point the toe like a ballerina. Pull that right thigh deep in toward your abdomen, balancing on your left leg. Now try and keep it where it is, or as close to where it is, up high, and release the arms. Toe is pointed, hands at prayer. We're gonna bend the standing leg and start to tip forward. So now we're bringing the heel close to the seat. We're bending the standing leg, the hands are at prayer. Stay here a moment, honoring this as its own pose. And then really slowly start to send that right leg straight back behind you. We're gonna find flying warrior three. Point the toe, eventually open the wings, lift the chest, press into your standing leg to grow tall. Feeling this as the expression of the seed beginning to sprout up through the soil. And with this energy that we created growing up into this pose, bring the hands down, lifting the right leg, point the toe. So standing split, my hands are on the mat, my left leg is really working, my right leg is really working. I'm lifting the toes toward the ceiling. It doesn't matter if their leg is lifted high or not. Standing split. Now we're gonna bend the lifted leg and just tap it to the calf. That's one. Inhale, extend up, reach through the toe. Exhale, bend and tap the back of the standing calf. That's two. Last one, inhale, reach tall. Exhale, bend the knee, tap. And then shoot your right foot back, high lunge. Inhale here, fingertips on either side of the ankle bone. We're gonna find a side plank from this pose. So right hand plants on the mat. Step your left leg halfway back. So you have a bend in the knee and roll to the pinky edge of your right foot. So you're on your right hand, the pinky edge of your right foot, and your left leg is stepped halfway back. Take the arm up overhead. Stay here if you like. If this feels like your edge and you want to stay here, go for it. If you want, step your left foot back and stack it on top of the right. Side plank here. Go ahead and roll back to center. Press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Now, if you'd like, you can stay in your dog. You can go into a child's pose, or you can move with me through vinyasa. Inhale, high plank position. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Wherever you've chosen, we'll all meet in the downward facing dog. We're gonna tiptoe or hop to the top of the mat. If you're hopping, bring your big toes to touch. Bend your knees, look forward between the thumbs. And when you're ready, launch. When you arrive, bend the knees a lot. Wrap your arms around the back of your legs and release the head. Start to straighten the legs as it feels comfortable to you, keeping them bent if that's better. Really release the jaw, the face, feeling the closeness between the legs and the torso. Bend the knees. Release the arms. The fingers brush the mat. Keep the hips low. Arms come overhead for chair pose. Draw your knees back. Pull your belly in. Your biceps are by the ears. Spread the fingers. Breathe here. Press firmly into your feet. Reach up, look up. Hands to prayer. Bring your arms out, shoulder height, shoulder width. When you're ready, lift the heels. Really lift them. This is great for strengthening the calves. Great for core strength in any balance. Shoulders are in the sockets. When you're ready, keep your heels lifted and start to slide your back down an imaginary wall. Sliding the back down the imaginary wall all the way to the little box. And then here, if you wanted, maybe you find a couple bounces, so just engage the legs and lift a couple times, and then plant your seat. Hug your legs. Heels are lifted. Breathe, hug in. And then from this energy, keep the heels lifted, bring the arms up again, right in line with the shoulders. Straighten the spine, press firm into the feet and grow tall. Trust yourself. Imagine yourself growing up like a plant, reaching for the sun. Lift the heels and release. If you need to shake out your feet, go for it. And then we'll bring that left thigh into the belly. Use your hands to really pull it in tight, and then point the toe like a ballerina. Pull the thigh in close to the left side of the torso. Trust your standing leg. Find one spot to focus. Now go ahead and release the hands and try and keep the leg lifted. And then bring your hands to prayer. Start to bend your standing leg. Bending into the standing leg, start to tip forward so that now the heel is coming close to the left glute. Point your toe with intention. And from here, start to slowly send your leg back. We're going to find Flying Warrior 3. If you wobble and fall, just come back. Lift the fingertips. Point the toe. Relying on that standing leg, think of it as your base root. From here, inhale, collect all the energy, and exhale, take the hands down to the floor, bow the head. Really press into your standing leg and lift your left leg. It requires engaging the quadricep, front of the thigh of that lifted leg. Reach the toe high, support yourself with your fingertips. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, bend the knee, tap the back of your right calf. Inhale, reach high, gather the energy, and exhale, tap. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, tap and hold. And then very slowly step that left foot back, high lunge. Inhale here, fingertips on either side of your right foot. Breathe, draw your right hip back in space. We're gonna make this transition to side plank. Left hand down. We're gonna step right foot halfway back and find the pinky edge of your left foot. Pinky edge of your left foot. Right arm stacks over left. Stay here and breathe. Feel free to stay here, or maybe you're gonna take the full pose, Vashisthasana. Step the right foot back to stack on top of the left. You can always take kickstand, so the top leg is in front of the other foot just a little bit. When you're ready, roll back to center. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Opportunity to rest or move with me. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two. We're gonna come into a nice open front body pose. So this pose is called Wild Thing. And feel free to just pause and watch me if you've never taken this pose. Just look at your screen and watch for a moment. We'll go through it a couple times so that people can start to feel the pose properly. So we'll shift forward a little bit and lift the right leg. We'll bend the right knee and step it behind you. Now turn your left foot so the toes are pointing straight ahead. Open the chest and lift the hips. Notice my right knee is bent. The whole foot is on the mat. You can come to tiptoes if you want. Lift the chest. The left arm is my stabilizer. And then I'm going to lower the hips down to come back over. We'll take that on the left side, and then we'll take it again 2 rounds in case anybody needed to just watch. And feel free to watch this one as well. So shift forward just a little bit. Inhale, lift the leg, bend the knee, and then rolling onto the right hand, step the left foot back behind you. Turn the right toes so they're pointed and lift the hips. Maybe open the chest. You can always place the hand on the solar plexus, kind of feeling that energy where we started the practice, or go ahead and open wide. Wild Thing pose. It's a great pose. I always, when I'm working with third chakra, I always do this pose. Nice way to open that energy center. Lower the hips toward the mat and roll back over. Roll out your right wrist if it needs it. We'll take Wild Thing on both sides one more time. Shift a little forward, inhale, lift your right leg, bend the knee, roll the weight onto your left hand and step behind you. Point your left toes, your right knee is bent, lift your hips, maybe hand to the solar plexus. Once you connect with that, maybe send that energy open, Wild Thing. Let yourself embody that intention. Wild, radical faith that whatever you plant will grow. Go ahead and lower the hips, step back over, roll out the left wrist if you need it, and Wild Thing on the other side. Shift forward a little bit, left leg lifts, then the knee, start to pour the weight onto your right hand, step behind you, point the right toe, left knee is bent, press into the feet to lift the hips, left hand to the center of the belly, just above the belly button, solar plexus area. Connecting with that energy, open the arm. And then go ahead and start to lower the hips to come back over. Downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Lower your knees, find a child's pose, and breathe. So those are some difficult and challenging postures, but you can think of them as maybe the blossom, right? If you want to work on your wild thing pose, you can think of them as the blossom of the seed. The fruit of your intention. Maybe if you've planted other seeds, it's a great image to go back to is yourself. Even if you didn't feel that solid in that pose this time, you could plant the intention of working up to it, and then you use that image, your fully bloomed self, to help give you that willpower you need to stay with whatever it is you're working on. From child's pose, downward facing dog. You're either going to tiptoe to the top of your mat or hop. If you're hopping, bring your big toes touching. You can walk the feet in a little. Sometimes I find it's easier to get my hips up higher when I hop. So if you want, you can walk your toes in a little closer to hands. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Get strong in your hands. Find your handstand hands, really strong, firm hands. They're going to support your weight when you hop forward. Give a couple little hops and land at the top. Inhale to halfway and exhale to bow. Soften the knees. Inhale, big sweep to the top, palms touch. Reach up, look up. Hands to prayer. Arms out, shoulder height, shoulder width. Lift your heels. You're going to feel this in your calves later, reminding you of all the hard work you put in your practice today. Start to slowly slide your back down an imaginary wall. It's like your shoulders are touching, your hips are touching the wall, you're just sliding down the wall, hips or heels are lifted. And then come into your little box. Do you have a bounce there? Can you just engage, pull in, and give a couple little bounces? And then find your seed. Last time in this practice, so be intentional about it. Hug everything in. What is your intention? What is the seed you're planting? Many of us probably have more than one seed, and that's great. Or maybe you have one big seed you're planting. Now from here, we're going to bring the arms forward, only palms will face each other this time, right at shoulder height, and start to lower yourself onto your seat. Just trusting yourselves that the earth is there to catch you. And when you arrive, we're going to move through our hollow body boat flow. So come onto your tiptoes. You can stay in any of these places that feel right for you. So you don't have to go for the full experience today, but you could set it as an intention. Have your hands at your shins. Come to your tiptoes and lift your chest. Make sure the chest is pulling forward and lifting, or you will fall over backwards. From this place, float your toes. Stay here if you like, just floating the toes a little bit and lifting the chest. If it feels right to you, lift the shins straight out from the knees. Squeeze into the center line and point the toes like a ballerina. Open the arms. Another step that's available if you want it. Now you can stay here, coming down when you need to, or we'll move together. Straighten the legs, start to lower down, but we'll keep the head and toes lifted. We started here. Inhale, lift. 2 more. Reach, nice and slow, and come up. And last one, arms reaching out, palms up, toes reach, squeeze into the center line, and come up. Release from wherever you are, hug your knees, and bow your head. Gently let your knees open to the side so the soles of the feet are touching. Hold on to your ankles or feet and sit up tall. Take a big breath in and exhale, start to fold over your feet. Any amount. Should feel this in the hips. Just breathing here, giving yourself a moment to download the practice a little bit, sort of get clear with the intentions. I know for my own self, just the way my brain works, when I feel like someone's giving me the opportunity or guiding me into an intention setting, I tend to get a little overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, I want to do this, and this is my intention, and that's my intention. And if that's happening for you, that's fine. The opposite sometimes happens to me. Sometimes I can't really put my finger on an intention. And that's okay too. So this little forward fold is an opportunity for you to just kind of let the dust settle. Whatever stays, stays. Whatever falls away, falls away. Slowly come up. Take your knees in with the help of your hands. And just let your legs come around behind you and find yourself on your belly. Your legs come around behind you. You'll find yourself on your belly. We're going to take a Sphinx pose here. So your forearms are out in front of you, and we're going to grab opposite elbows in order to find the alignment. So if you can't grab your elbows, then your arms are too far apart. Walk them in. They should be in line with your shoulders. And then your forearms will come out in front of you. We're just going to activate by isometrically pulling the forearms back and chest through the arms. Shoulders glide back and away from the ears. I'm going to have you walk your feet apart. Sometimes we do this with legs really close together. I'm going to have you walk your feet apart and just gently give a press into the top of the feet. And then return to your upper body engagement. Shoulders back, chest forward. Full breath. Slowly release all the way down. Look over your right shoulder, arms long by your sides. Big toes touch and heels soften. Take a few breaths here. Again, all of these restful poses after all that work we put in, this is where we get to download. This is where we get to let the bubbles rise to the top. And all else fall away. Come back to your chin. Bring your hands next to your ribs. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And then we'll find a cobra pose. So go ahead and lift up, maybe keeping belly button down, but lifting that solar plexus, the sternum. So that area where we have been focusing today is gently lifting, but the belly button is on the mat. Keep pressing into your feet, shoulders glide away from the ears. Inhale. And exhale, release. Take a cheek on the other side. Turn your head so you're looking over your left shoulder. Arms come long on the mat. Big toes touch. Heels are soft. We're going to take our bow pulling pose, but we're going to take it with a little variation. So come back to your chin. You're going to take your hands behind your back. If this does not feel comfortable in your shoulders, you're more than welcome just to continue to reach back along your sides. But maybe hands interlaced behind your back, and you're going to bend both knees. Point the toes like a ballerina. And on your next breath, you're going to lift the chest with a focus on that solar plexus area. So maybe try to peel it up a little bit by sending the knuckles back. Inhale and release. Look over your shoulder and breathe. Go ahead and now take your hands under your shoulders and just lift the chest a little bit. We're going to take a twist from the belly here. So the right arm first is going to thread under the left, and you're going to bring your shoulder down to the mat. And then you're going to let the left arm come up and over and bring the left knee up toward the right wrist. So you're just coming into a twist from the belly. left arm reaching back behind you, knee, left knee toward your right wrist. So your knee is on the mat, but probably your left shoulder isn't unless you're super, super bendy in your mid-back. And that's okay. Just let that weight of gravity kind of find its own twist here. Breathe, soften. You could always turn and look toward your left hand. That felt okay. And then slowly bring your left hand up and over, and you're gonna come back onto your belly. So you're gonna bring your left leg back behind you and unthread your right arm. And then you're just gonna go the other way. So lift the torso a little bit, left arm underneath the right, really tuck that shoulder under, and then take your right arm up and over and slide your right knee up to your left arm. And obviously it's not gonna go all the way up there, but in that direction toward your left arm. The arms are actually reaching out sort of like the shape of a T, and your right knee is on the mat, and your right shoulder will not be, most likely. And you can turn your head, if you wanted, toward that right hand, only if it feels okay in the neck, and just breathe. Let the eyes close. So when we make an intention, when we set an intention to start off on some journey, we don't always experience the benefit right away. And so that period of time when we're not seeing anything green poking through the soil is a time of faith, right? It's a time where we have to say, what I'm doing is worth it, even though I can't really feel the benefits right away. So that can be true with a healthy eating plan, that can be true with exercise or a yoga practice or anything. There's this period of time where we have to keep showing up for ourselves, even though we're not really feeling the benefit as much. And it's in that time that we really need to tap into that solar plexus, that really intentional, powerful self-will energy of the third chakra. That's what gets us through. That's what we can sort of just put our blind faith in and show up for ourselves until we start to see the little green poking through the soil. Slowly bring your right arm back over, slide back onto your belly. And then go ahead and take your hands under your shoulders and press to all fours. We'll cat-cow here. Inhale, chest and tail lift. I sometimes like to take a few cat-cows after a deep twist and then round the back. Just bring some awareness to what the benefit of the twist was. Inhale, lift the chest and tail. Linger, feel, and then arc the back. One more time, big breath in, chest and tail lift. And exhale, round. Pull the belly in, tuck the chin, really make some space in your spine. And then just find neutral. Let your hips come over or come back to your heels and then off to the left, and your legs will come around in front of you. And we're just going to take a slow roll onto the back. Take your time, lie yourself down on the mat, and then hug your knees in. Really feeling the thighs on the belly. And one more time, we're going to find our seed shape, and then we're going to sprout into our Shavasana. So go ahead and lift your head toward your knees. Hug your thighs into your belly. Feel the energy building here. This is you and your intention, right? This is the energy that is sparked in that third chakra when you say, I am going to XYZ. I would like XYZ in my life. I intend to build it in my life. That's your intention. So from that energy, see if you can just give yourself one more moment to linger with it. If you want the challenge, you could release the arms So the energy to keep this together comes from your core strength, right? So that's symbolic in and of itself. Wherever you've chosen, whether you're holding the knees or pulling the thighs in just with your own strength, we're gonna sprout into our self-growth. So from this energy, start to expand. Take the arms out, take the legs out, and just take up all the space you need on your mat. Tuck your shoulders underneath you. Especially in your own home, you have the beautiful benefit of just taking up all the space you need. You're not gonna run into the yogi next to you. So just take up what you need. Reach out with fingers, reach out with toes. Let yourself be big and expansive. When you're ready, bring your hands back to the solar plexus. Stack your hands on top of the solar plexus. Your eyes are closed. Feeling the belly expand and contract, receiving the fullness of the inhalation, and lightly engaging to release the breath from the body. Continue to breathe in this intentional way. This solar plexus, Manipura chakra, third chakra, is the shining gem that stirs and emanates from within us. It is our own source of heat, the element of transformation that is associated with our own personal power and self-confidence. Feel the warmth of this region begin to shine and light the way of the path to the heart. Keeping one hand here at the solar plexus, move the other hand to your heart center. Notice how the heart feels. Light or heavy, strained or relaxed. From this heart space, begin to focus on a quality or virtue that you wish to cultivate. So returning now to your intention. A word or phrase that you wish to be at the root of your action, such as patience, grace, awareness of breath, gratitude, or letting go, whatever comes to you. Find a word or phrase. Visualize this intention like a seed you plant within the heart space, supported by the energy and light that radiates from the solar plexus. Trust that the more you focus on this quality, the more it will manifest in your life. Even if you can't see the sprout coming through the soil, trust. Have faith in your energy, your intention, and your heart. Take a full breath in and a full exhale. When you're ready, hug your knees into your chest and roll over onto your right side. Pause a moment in gratitude. When you're ready, press to a comfortable seat. Your eyes are closed, your palms are pressed at the center of your chest. We'll take a big breath in together and exhale as we bow the forehead toward the fingers. Bring the thumbs to the center of the forehead and we'll all bow together. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Feel free to unmute your mic if you have any questions about alignment or anything else at all, or just anything that you want to share with the group. It's a great opportunity for us to connect with others and connect with each other in these yoga groups. So feel free to say whatever you have on your mind. Don't forget to leave your name or just a note in the chat so I can take attendance.